Welcome happy hookers, I'm Chrissy from Crochet & Tea, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to make these 2 crochet flowers. Now you might be thinking that I've been a little bit lazy and I've left my ends attached, but the real reason is because it's really handy to attach and tie these flowers onto garlands or headbands simply by tying your yarns together and leaving yourself a good 6 inches. So I'm going to swap over to a mustard colour because it's going to show up a little bit better on the camera, and I've actually gone up a size, and these were crocheted in DK with a 3.5. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, my crochet hook there, this one's probably about 3 centimetres, this one's probably about 5 centimetres in diameter. So I'm going to cross over to my 5. So to get started, we're going to create a magic circle. If you're not familiar with that, I've got a more in-depth video above, but we're going to take our yarn and we're going to wrap it around our fingers and we're going to cross it over at the front. So here's our tail, wrap it around, cross it over at the front, pinch it with our ring finger there, insert our hook underneath, taking this yarn here and pulling it through, spinning it around like that to create a little tear loop, and then we're going to pick up the yarn again and we're going to pull it through the loop like so, and then we have a magic circle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place 10 single crochets into the ring. So we're going to insert into the ring, yarn over, insert and pull through those 2, insert, pull the yarn over and pull through 2. If you are a beginner, I've got some videos on how to do the 3 stitches in this, the single, the double and the half double. I'll put them in the description below. So if you familiarise yourself with it, then you'll find it a little bit easier to create this flower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to pull our magic ring closed like so. I'm just going to give myself a little bit more light there. There we go. So before I fully close my magic ring, what I like to do is actually slip stitch into my first stitch, because this sometimes can be quite tight, and if you've pulled your ring tight it will probably slip into the centre and you might really struggle. So let's pull that tighter. Okay, so we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So we've got 10 single crochets. So each petal is going to be worked over, there's going to be 5 petals, is going to be worked over 2 stitches. So we've got a slip stitch here that we've created, so the bulk of our petal is going to go in the next stitch. So we're going to place a half double crochet into that next stitch. So we yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull back through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. We're then going to place a double in the same stitch like so, and then we're going to place a half double in the same stitch. So 3 stitches all into that one, half double, double, half double. You're then going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And can you see we've created one of our petals? Oh, I've hit my light there. So next one, half double, double. I love working with this yarn, half double. This is actually Cedar #1 Chunky, and it is really, really nice. It's definitely going on a favourites video. Slip stitch into the next, half double, double. Oh, we've split our stitch. If you do split stitch, just take it down, give it a little bit of a twizzle, and you'll be back on and start again. So we've done our half double, we need to do our double, our final half double, and then our slip stitch into that next stitch, So we've got 3 petals, so we've only got 2 more to do. So half double, double. Running out of yarn, let me get myself a little bit more there. So half double, double, half double. I love the half double. Does anyone else have a favourite stitch? There's just something about it. It's just so quick and fluid. It really is quite nice. Half double, double, half double, and then your slip stitch will be going into your slip stitch from your round that you joined originally, like so. Okay, so what I like to do at this point is get my tail end and my yarn end and cut it, and I'm actually cutting this with a pair of my cat's nail clippers, because it doesn't matter how many pairs of embroidery scissors I have, they always seem to go walkabout, but they actually work quite well. So then pull that through, and can you see what we want is we want that to be nice and snug. So I actually take it around the, so first thing is I pull my magic circle a lot tighter. There we go, that's really cinched it in. Then I take this piece and I pull it along like this, pinching that. And then can you see on the back, if we tie the two together, I'll get my hands out of the way so you can actually see in a minute, don't worry. We got our hands, if we get our 2 pieces and tie them together, and if we pull, but making sure that, can you see this bit which is going to cinch those petals in, we don't pull too tight. So we only want it to pull it in so that it kind of matches the other ones. If you pull it too tight, you'll end up with one with quite a big gap in between. So take it to about there, and then if you take a double knot, and then it's on this one that you should be able to go a little bit tighter to secure that. And then what you've got is you've got a really nice nice thread that you can attach this to various things. Now this, working with this, is obviously this level of yarn is obviously a little bit bigger, but if I just show you the size differences, it is essentially the same flower. Now it does happen to actually look a little bit like a star, and if you wanted, you probably could block the corners out so that it looked like a star. But if you, there we go, we've got our crochet flower. Okay, so let's make one more size up, and the great thing about the one more size up is you could actually, if you wanted to make a more of a 3D effect, you could actually take 2 different yarns and then fasten them together to create an inner and an outer. Now for this one, I'm going to create it all in one colour, but you could equally, there's 3 rounds here, you could equally do colour changing and do this very centre here one colour and the second and third different, or take the middle 2 one colour and just do the very outer edge in a separate colour. And I'll probably do a video on that because I think this would look gorgeous as a daisy. So let's take a look at the next one. So we're going to start exactly the same with our magic loop, and the same as before, we are going to, oh, if I can get that in, there we go. We're going to place 10 single crochets into the centre of our magic loop, or our magic circle. What do you call it, magic loop or magic circle? I'd love to know. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Super. Pull that closed. Don't pull it too far until I locate. Can you see this one's going to be a little bit of a tight, but we'll get it through. There we go. So slip stitch into that very first one, and then at this point I'm going to pull my magic circle a little bit tighter. So we've got 10 stitches, and I'm just going to check them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 half double crochets in every stitch around. So we're going to yarn over, insert, and place our half double crochet into every stitch, which will give us a grand total of 20 at the end. And as you can see, I'm not choosing to sort of fast forward this video because these flowers really are so quick and easy to work up. I find as well they're really handy if you're creating a project like a blanket and you've got lots of different colours of stripes of your blanket. Those who've crocheted a blanket know that it can be a little bit overwhelming to have such a large project. One thing I used to like to do is when I'd completed a colour in a blanket and it was time to change colour, I would use a little colour of that yarn to make a little flower. And what I'd find is by the end of the blanket I'd have sort of 40 or 50 coloured flowers or coloured hearts ready and waiting that I'd quite sort of easily slotted in to the project. Really handy little tip there. Okay, so we've got our 20 half double crochets, and it's really important to count, and even I'm going to count, because if you haven't got the right amount for your flower, your petals, you're going to be really disappointed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and can you see 10? That's my little stitch there that I want to be joining into. Perfect. So we've got 20 half double crochets, and it's not too dissimilar to the way that we did it before, but we are going to be skipping a stitch. So we've got our slip stitch here, we're going to skip this next stitch, and in the one after we're going to place 1 half double, and then we're going to place 5 doubles, and they will fit, don't worry. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to place 1 more half double at the end. Now you'll find what has happened, because you've got a lot of stitches in one stitch, you've actually crowded into the next. And if we pull that back, can you see that's our next stitch, which is absolutely fine because we're actually going to skip it and we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. The reason I've mentioned this is don't forget to check where the next stitch is, because if you were to skip this one and go along into this one, you'd find out you'd run out of room to fit your petals in. So just make sure, okay, yep, the one I'm missing is actually the hidden one, and that's fine because we're skipping one and then we're slip stitching into the next stitch, the same as we did on the previous one. So we're then going to miss this next one, and we're going to place all of our stitches into the following one. So skipping, we're going to place another half double crochet, and then we're going to place, I'll bring that down a bit, 5 double crochets into that petal, like so. I've just caught a bit of my yarn there. So I've got 3, 4, 5 half double, check, okay, there's my hidden stitch that I'm skipping, slip stitch into the next one, skip, and we're on to our half double. I always think at this point it looks like a cute little Minnie or Mickey Mouse. Might be a little pattern that we could work up, some little Disney themed motifs. So doubles, let's get 5 in here. So 2, 3, that's off a bit more yarn, 2, 3, 4, 5, half double, check for that skipped stitch, slip stitch into the following one, skip, and then half double. So we're nearly there. I've only got 2 more. Oh, that was a bit of a toughie, wasn't it? Hang on a second. There we go. Half double, and then 5 doubles. This is going to be a really lovely size flower with this chunky yarn, quite impressive. So we've got 3, so we just need 2 more. I think I split stitches because I rush. Does anyone else have that? Like, I know some yarns are quite open to being a splitty yarn. Certainly with cottons you have to go very carefully. Okay, so skipping, slip stitching. I seem to do it quite a lot, and it's usually when I'm on camera, which is highly embarrassing. I've been crocheting for 20 years now, yeah, and I still split stitches. 2, 3, oh, this is the exciting bit when you're nearly at the end. 4, 5, and then that final half double, and with skipping the next, we'll be slip stitching like before into that very first slip stitch that we had at the beginning, and it's complete. So let's cut our yarn with our stylish cat clippers. Maybe I'll start a little fashion. Pull our thread through, turn it around, remember to pull down and attach it to that inner one. Give it a pull, not too much, checking, okay, so that they look even and you wouldn't be able to tell from the front kind of which one is the one that's been joined. Give it a double knot there, and there you have your larger flower with your 3 rounds. So we'll just compare that to our smaller one in that. So this is in the Sidar number 1 chunky, which for me is somewhere between an Aran and a chunky. I don't feel it's that chunky. And then we've got a lovely cotton double knit there, and can you see how well they've turned out? So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoy busting through your yarn stash to make yourself some lovely flowers. I post every Friday, so please hit that notification bell and subscribe if you're interested in checking out more of my videos. If you found this useful, please do give it a thumbs up. It does really help my channel and help support my growth. Happy hooking, and I'll see you soon. Bye.